Good morning and welcome to the Fairy Tale Unit. This is Sleeping Beauty. The videos for Sleeping Beauty can be found on the playlist. They are videos 23 through 27, mostly from Disney. I'm not sorry. The things you're keeping an eye out for in this particular unit are the following. What are the things each fairy tale could be trying to tell you about the society it's written for? How does each fairy tale react to the supernatural and why might that be? How does each fairy tale treat men and women? How is each fairy tale different depending on where it is written? How is it the same? How are the movie clips, poems, and articles related to each story? So this is the Cav version of Sleeping Beauty, which is different than the other versions. You're going to read Sun, Moon, and Talia, the Perrault version, the Grimm version. Mine's kind of a hodgepodge of a variety of them. So, here we go. Once upon a time. Also, I really like the Disney one, so that has a bit more influence on mine than some of the other ones, so sorry. Once upon a time, there's a king and his queen. They've wanted to have a child for a while, and finally they have one, a beautiful baby girl. So they have this big party, and they invite all the fairies in the kingdom and all the people in the kingdom to come celebrate. But they are short of plates. They've got 12 gold plates and 13 magical people. So they don't want to give one a bad plate. So instead of giving all of them bad plates or hiring someone to make another gold plate, they don't invite a fairy who just happens to be the fairy with the worst temper, which is just poor planning. So the fairies are there and they're all giving gifts, and then the final fairy bursts in and she's like, I was not invited and I'm a little irritated about it. And to show you how irritated I am going to also give a gift to the baby. And everyone's like, okay, this is not going to be good. She's like, so when she turns 16, she's going to prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die. And everyone's like, oh no, that's not good. So the king is like, we're going to destroy all the spinning wheels. And all the weavers are like, what? How are we supposed to do our jobs? And he's like, I don't care, figure it out. So they find a spindleless alternative. But there's a couple spindles like hiding in the kingdom. Because, obviously. But there's one fairy left, and she's like, okay, I'm going to reverse this here. She's like, so she's going to sleep either for 100 years or until she's kissed by her true love. And everyone's like, okay, that works. Well, that's better than dying. So the princess is growing up in her spindleless kingdom. She's doing very well. She's lovely. All the other fairy wishes came true. She's graceful and beautiful, and she has the voice of an angel, and she's smart, and blah, 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 blah. So it's her 16th birthday, and she's exploring the castle, having a grand time, and she finds this room where there's a lady in there, and the lady is spinning. Now, in some stories, she's just a poor lady who's actually like one of the hiding spinning ladies. In my story, she's the 13th fairy. And she's spinning, and the princess is like, what are you doing? That's so cool. She's like, I'm spinning. Do you want to try? And the princess is like, yes. So she grabs the spindle, but she's kind of a klutz, and she's never done it before, so she pokes herself. Which, like, we've all done it. When you're knitting the first time, you always stab yourself with a knitting needle. So she pokes herself, but she passes out, because now she's under a curse. And the evil fairy is like, yes, I win. So she's like, that was not challenging enough. Nobody tried. This was silly. But she goes off to her castle, and she's like, all right, either she's dead or she's sleeping for 100 years. Either way, I got my revenge. I proved my point. So she's out. Then the other fairies are like, oh, well, that didn't work the way we planned. So they put a big sleeping spell over the whole kingdom, over the whole castle at least, so that everyone will sleep and everyone will wake up when the princess wakes up. And then to keep her safe, they put a big briar patch around the whole thing. So a lot of people try to get past the briar patch, and all of them die until 100 years pass. Or her true love. It depends on what you're... Sometimes it's both. Her true love wasn't alive yet. And when he gets to the castle, the thorns just part. And he gets in and he sees all the dead bodies in the hedges, and he's like, oh, this is terrifying. And so he sees all these sleeping people, and he's like, this is weird. I don't know how to react to this. So he climbs the stairs, and he sees this beautiful princess, just his age, lying there in a deep sleep. And he's like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, if she was awake, I'd kiss her, but she's asleep, and that's creepy. So I don't want to do that. And he's like, nah. So he kisses her anyway. And then she wakes up, and she's like, who are you? And he's like, sorry, I wanted to wake you up. He's like, for some reason, I thought that would work. She's like, it did, but like, let's shake hands next time first. And he's like, sounds like a plan. So then everyone else in the kingdom wakes up and they're like, you saved us. You should marry the princess. And so he and the princess spend some time getting to know each other, and eventually they get married. You can see where the Cav version of that story came in, because I like to imagine they spent some time getting to know each other before they got married. But of course, this was medieval society, so they probably didn't. It was probably like, I kissed you, now we're married. Let's have a ceremony. But, yeah, so you can see why the Disney version of that story is better, because in that story, they know each other. He knew it was going to break the curse. It's a lot more pleasant. I'm just saying. So yeah, all right, have a wonderful day. Happy reading. Wash your hands. Cav out.